Welcome to the Friday edition of the SNews here at LonghornStation.com with Ahmad Brooks. I'm John Medani. You can hear us Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 here on AM 1300 The Zone. NFL picks. Still pretty close. It's anybody's season. I think we're separated by about 5 games at this point. So we only have 2 games that we differ on, so we're going to debate these here on celluloid. In fact, the first game is the Titans and the Colts. 2 very good football teams. I don't think you could go wrong either pick here.
I don't either, but, I want to go back. I want to take you back to Vince Young's first 2 meetings versus Peyton Manning. If you remember correctly, the first time he almost beat him, the second time he did. He's had great success against this Indianapolis Colts cover 2 defense. A lot of the reason is because they give you one-on-one coverages. They allow their corners to try to come up and support the run. That's going to be a problem. Look for the Tennessee Titans to have a few tricky plays. They're going to try to deceive, for sure, the Indianapolis Colts, and they have to do something because Dwight Freeney is looming. But I do think Vince Young and this Titans team, they are the best rushing team in football, hands down, with those 2 at that position. And I really do think that the Titans have a chance to win here if Vince Young can protect the football and if Chris Johnson can continue doing what he's doing in this defense, can do what they've done in the last 3-4 weeks.
I think Chris Johnson will keep doing what he's doing. I think he's playing that well. You could argue he's a better MVP candidate than Vince Young, but there's no denying this team has responded to the leadership of BY. Now, the one thing that we noticed last week with their win over the Cardinals is that, yes, Vince led him to that game-winning drive, etc., but he was also dragged down 3 times by Darnell Dockett. So a good D lineman can get to Vince Young if he's fast enough.
Absolutely.
That would describe Dwight Freeney. Yeah. So I do think that it's a little different going up against the Colts. You're also messing with the Colts on their turf. They are undefeated. No disrespect to BY and the Titans. This is a great story. I think it continues to be a great story, but I'm not picking them to beat the Colts in Indianapolis, not this week. Cowboys and Giants. Desperate game for the Giants. You went first last time. I guess I should go first this time. I'm taking the Giants, mostly for my Cowboys friends, because they blame me when I pick the Cowboys and the Cowboys lose. The Giants are desperate. And I will tell you now, if the Giants can't win Sunday, they may not win another game all season. They have lost 5 in a row. They're giving up 32, or 5 of 6. They've given up 32 points a game during this slide after that 5-0 start. They just can't stop anybody. I'm not exactly sure what's wrong with Tuck and Umanura. I know Antonio Pierce is out for the rest of the season, but Steve Spagnuolo could not have been that big a difference. They did start 5-0. Lost their D coordinator. He's now the head coach of the Rams, but there's something missing. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe this desperation of the season potentially ending will be enough to give them just enough to get over the spark. And, oh, by the way, the calendar says December.
I'm not intimidated by this calendar, and I know Wade Phillips as well as Tony Romo have been unsuccessful in the month of December. But I'm going to tell you why the Giants were successful in previous years is because they had 3 running backs that were good. Brandon Jacobs, Ahmad Bradshaw, and the departed Mr. Ward. You know who has the best 3 running backs in football now? It's the Dallas Cowboys. And last week, for the first time, we saw all 3 of those guys rush for over 60 yards. If they can continue at that pace, who cares what Romo does? Because if they can rush the football, the Dallas Cowboys will get one-on-one matchups, and we saw what Miles Austin is capable of doing. We know what Jason Witten is capable of doing, and we all hope Roy will be able to do the same at some point, and I think he will. I think that's where the game will be won, is the fact that they have 3 capable rushers like the Giants used to. They'll milk that clock, keep Eli and this offense off of the field. Cowboys win.
In the Metroplex, they're saying that this game takes place 3:15 on November 37th. They refuse to acknowledge that we are into December. Please acknowledge the Cowboys game against the Giants starting at 2 o'clock.
Somebody
you can hear it right here on your Cowboys station as well as Longhorn Station, AM 1300 The Zone.